Hey guys, welcome back. Andrew here with Ambient Endeavors, and a few months back I did a video comparing a couple of the Squier Jazzmasters. The catalyst to that video was really just to check out the 40th anniversary series that Squier's been putting out the last year or so. So I got one of the vintage edition 40th anniversary Jazzmasters in and compared it to my Jazzmaster Jazzmaster. You can check out the link in the corner here if you want to see that video. But I came away from that video really impressed by the 40th anniversary series. Impressed with the quality of the guitar, the playability, the sounds. Just really solid guitars for the money and really accessible to a lot of players. So I thought it'd be fun to check out another model in the lineup. I've got some fun projects with Squier coming up, and they sent out this Stratocaster from the series, so we're going to dive into this, talk about the guitar, go through the specs, and hear a bunch of sounds from it too. First off, they're doing a bunch of satin finishes for this line, and this one is the Satin Sonic Blue. It has the gold anodized pickguard, this nice vintage tinted maple neck, 9.5-inch radius, the medium tall frets throughout, 21 frets on the fretboard here. There's a cool engraved 40th anniversary Squier backplate on the neck too. That's a nice touch. And they have this aged hardware throughout too that the Jazzmaster had as well. Obviously designed by Fender, and they're made overseas in Indonesia. These guitars have Alnico 5 pickups in them that are really kind of like medium output. They sit in a really nice range, not super vintagey, but definitely not hot or overly wound. And the controls are pretty traditional Strat. You have the volume and 2 tones, but the nice thing about the tone controls is the first one controls neck and middle, and the second one controls the tone of the bridge, so you get some control over that really bright bridge pickup. Comes with a bone nut. I strung it up with 10s from StringJoy just to get it a little bit heavier string gauge like I like to play, and the action is a little bit higher than I'd like. There's a couple spots on the nut that probably should be filed down a little bit. I kind of anticipate, unless I'm spending a ton of money on a guitar, that it's going to need a trip to my local tech to really get it dialed in and honed in on the feel and playability that I personally like with my preferred string gauges and all that. So take that into consideration. But out of the box, I mean, this whole video is filmed before I've taken it to Wyatt, so definitely arrived very playable and feeling really great. Like I said, the neck is really smooth. There's no fret sprout, which is fairly common for these lower end guitars, and just a really comfortable playable neck and guitar. So we're gonna run through some sounds, get some clean and dirty sounds out of this Stratocaster. We're running through a Fender Tonemaster Princeton Reverb. I've got a few effects going on in the board. We're using a Flint for some reverb, Strymon Volante for a little bit of echo, and then for the dirty stuff I'm using a Bondi Del Mar. Yeah, let's check it out. Check the sounds out, and we'll come back and see what my thoughts are about this Stratocaster. So what usually happens when I do these kind of reviews of guitars is that I'll spend a little bit of time with the guitar ahead of time, just feeling my way around it, getting some sounds and some parts dialed in to showcase it for you. And then I go through filming the video and then afterwards editing all the stuff that I've filmed. And as you might imagine, I end up hearing back through those parts and the playing a handful of times as I'm going through the editing process. And it's kind of a cool experience for me because it helps to crystallize some of my opinions and thoughts about the experience of playing the guitar, how it sounds, and all of that. First off, I love the look of these guitars. I think the satin finishes are really nice deviations from the traditional kind of glossy Fender bodies, and I personally love the vintage tinted maple neck. Some people might find it a little bit saturated, but I think it's a nice touch and goes well with the guitar. I'm really enjoying the playability of the necks on these guitars. They're really smooth. Like I mentioned, there's no fret sprout or pesky kind of things getting in the way of your hand moving up and down the fretboard, and that's a huge selling point for me for a lower end guitar like this. The pickups sound really nice out of the box. I could imagine, you know, playing this guitar for months without doing much to it. The Alnico 5 pickups sound good. There's clarity. There's enough character to them in each of the positions that, you know, it sounds like a Strat should, and gives you those unique, interesting sounds in each position. I do plan on bringing it to my tech to get it set up. I put 10s on this guitar. I like to put heavier strings than Fender sends out, and there'll be a little bit of work, I think, to the nut to get action and some adjustments to the bridge for intonation and things like that to be just how I like it. Like I said, that's to be expected in my opinion, especially for lower end guitars like this. And the bones of the guitar and, you know, how it came to me was a really playable state. So again, pretty impressed with the fit and finish of these guitars out of the box. I didn't play much with the bridge. I didn't use the tremolo system in the video. It's pretty tight down to the body, which again is something you can adjust or have your tech adjust if that's something you're into, but I don't use the trem arm much for Stratocasters. Yeah, I just like the Jazzmaster I reviewed earlier. I'm continually impressed with the series, and I'm glad I got to check out another model in the line to just gauge the consistency from one to the next, and I think it's there. This one feels, sounds, plays very similarly to the Jazzmaster out of the box. They're really compelling instruments for the price. I am sort of like hemming and hawing, thinking about what pickup set I could drop in here at some point if I wanted to really kind of level up the sounds of the pickups. But even for, you know, $200 or $300 to drop in a set of really killer pickups, you're still, you know, at or below the price of a Mexican-made guitar with a lot of the other kind of Fender models that are the next step up. So it could be a cool option, could be a fun way to pick up a Strat if you want to add that to your collection and mod it or just mess around with it. So thanks again for watching. Please hit subscribe, leave a comment or a question if you've got one of those, and thanks to Fender for sending this one out to do some videos on. Check Instagram and back here on YouTube for more content with this guitar, with other guitars that they've sent out, and we'll see you soon.